Okay, I think this is it. I had forgotten. I went too quickly and there was a button that I did not click. Going live. Okay, we're good to go. So, yes, what I was saying is that when you have a desire, sometimes it's easy because everybody else around you says, of course you can do this. Yeah, this is your desire. But oftentimes you have a soul desire that is different from what other people want from you. It's different than what your mom wants from you, for what your spouse wants from you. It's different from what your community wants from you. It's different than your whole history. But you still want to do it because it's your soul desire. So you have to show up and say yes to you and say yes to your desire no matter what. So that is kind of one of the big lesson. And it's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you. You have to be present for yourself. You have to be strong for yourself. You kind of have to be a warrior for yourself and continue to say yes to your desire no matter what. So it takes quite a bit of discipline. It takes courage, and you have to find those people around you that are going to encourage you in staying authentic and strong in your soul's desire. Make sense? I'm not saying that to discourage you, but rather to validate that, yeah, this stuff can be hard, right? I know, been there, done that. So if you need someone to talk to, send me an email, send me a Facebook message. We can do a live one-on-one. We can do that and I can support you. All right. So let's dive in now. So let's dive in now about the 5D, what that is. So the 5D, that is the level of the soul. So the 4D is the level of the mind and the 3D is the level of the body. So when I talk about the soul alignment or soul realignment, that is your soul blueprint. Have you ever gone through life and just wondering, like, I wish I had a user's manual for my life. Like, I would love to know who I am, what to do, and just to make things a little bit easier for me. That's what your soul blueprint is all about. It's about knowing yourself at the soul level so that you really can align your desires, your wants, your needs with how your soul is meant to experience itself. And then life gets a lot easier because instead of being like here in your body and here in your soul, you're kind of like this and you're aligned. So energy flows a lot more quicker. Your manifestations are a lot quicker. Your energy is higher. So how do you get to know yourself at the soul level? The first thing is to really listen to your body. Your body is a temple for your soul. Your body is the house for your soul. Your body is also like a battery, right? We produce a whole lot of electricity. That's why we have encephalograms and we have like cardiac, they measure the electricity. So our body conducts a whole lot of electricity. And our body, spiritually and energetically, is like a huge antenna. So we can receive a lot of energy and there's a lot of output of energy as well. So your body is really, really important. So that's something to really understand. Like, of course, it's basic, but as spiritual people, sometimes we don't want to be in the body. We just want to be in the soul, and that is impossible. We have chosen to be incarnated in the 3D. So we really have to listen to the body. And to know your soul's desire on the 5D, based on your 3D, that means listen to the energy of your body. So just think for a moment, when you walk into a new place, are you feeling lit up? Are you feeling like, yeah, I know this place, this is the right place? Or are you feeling like your energy just goes down? And it's like the floor is opening up underneath you and there's like nothing left. That's happened to me so many times, right? Has that happened to you? Or you meet someone and you perk up an energy and then you meet someone else and it's like your energy just drains from you, right? That's happened to you. So listen to that. Those are little cues. So when it comes to your desire, knowing what your soul really wants, as opposed to what your mind wants or your ego wants or, you know, your personal history wants, you need to be to really listen to what your body is telling you. So this is what it might feel like. You have a desire. So it can be anything. It can be starting your own business. It can be meeting someone new, starting a new relationship, whatever it is, brushing your teeth, what you want for breakfast. When it's a choice that is made from the 4D, from your thoughts or from your history or from something that you should, you're going to probably feel it more in your head. Like there's not going to be a whole lot of buzz around it. But when it's a soul desire, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I really, really want. You're going to feel it more in your sacral chakra. So to me, when I think of my big hairy goals, like for my business, the big thing, the next up level, even doing this 5-day challenge with you, it feels, and it might sound weird to you guys, but it feels like those first months of pregnancy, because it's that deep core desire in the belly, like, yes, this is right. This is what I want. This is happening. And it's that feeling. So take a moment and think, like, what does that mean for you when you really want someone? It can be, or like when you really desire your goal. It can be like when you really desire your partner. It can be when you really desire the baby. It can be when you really desire that goal. How does that feel in your body? So just take a moment and feel that in your body. So how's your heart rate? How do you feel in your body? Like, did you feel that your soul kind of drops in your body? Like you're embodied, you're wanted, the desire is there. How does that feel? Okay, so write that down, because you're going to have to practice that vibration over and over again, because that's how you know that you really want something, and that's how it's going to manifest for you, and that's how you know it's your soul. If it's just your head saying, yeah, that would be nice to have, it's going to come and go. You're not going to manifest it, because you're not going to be able to kind of grab hold of it. You need to kind of put it in your body and say, yeah, I want this. Makes sense? It's like very visceral, but that's what it is. So now that you know how your soul feels in your body when it really desires something, let's talk a little bit more. We're going to change gears and talk about the Akashic Records and what that is. The Akashic Records is the library of everything. It's like the Google database of your soul and every soul on earth. So when you can access your Akashic Records, and that is done through meditation, and the more you go into your Akashic Records, the more instant it can be, then you have access to your blueprint, to that user's guide, that user's manual that I was referring to a little bit earlier. In your Akashic Records, when you know what to look for, because like I said, it's like Google, so you can like Google search anything and you're just going to receive any type of responses, right? It's kind of the same thing in the Akashic Records. There's so much information in there. You have to train yourself to be the good librarian and be able to ask the right questions for you to get the right answer. But when you know how to ask the questions, then you get to know, how was my soul made? Right? And when you know how your soul was made, then you know more about how to manifest. So, for instance, when I look into my clients' Akashic Records, I know what soul group of origin their soul came from. Because if you didn't know already, your soul might not be from Earth. And your soul is older than this lifetime in this body. That, you know, I've just too many synchronicities, just too much knowledge. So this is really what I really believe. If the soul is eternal, it is older than this body. So you've had many, many lifetimes before. You've had incarnations, and you've likely traveled through multiple universes before coming here in this lifetime. So when you access your Akashic records, you know what soul group of origin you come from. And when I access that, when I do that reading for my clients, then it's easier for them to know if they come from a planet where, or a soul system where being organized is very important and having strategies in place is very important. Or if they come from a different galaxy where, you know, that gravitational pull is so different than on Earth. And so they have a lot of issues being in their body because they're so used to being a little bit lighter. There are also other soul groups of origin where they come from unconditional love. So they have a lot of issues here on Earth because on Earth, love is conditional, unfortunately, right? You've heard that growing up, right? I will love you if, or I will love myself only when I lose that 20 pound, when I make that amount of money, when I get this job. It's always like there's a condition. So rarely do you say I completely love and accept myself exactly as I am, and I completely love and accept you exactly the way you are, right? We place conditions on our parents, on our children, on our co-workers, on everything. Love is conditional on Earth. So when soul groups come from that planet of origin, they're just really, really confused about love. But they're really, really great healers. Those are the people that you go see and you just feel the unconditional love when you go into their healing offices, and just being in the presence of that love is healing, right? So there are like 12 or so groups of origin. So knowing your soul group of origin is going to answer so many questions about, oh, that's why I'm like that. That's why I respond to life this way, because I do come from that soul group of origin. You can't imagine the level of relief that my clients feel when they know their soul group of origin. The other thing that you know in this user's guide, in this blueprint of your soul, is your soul vibrational spectrum. There are 8 energy centers. So think of this as like the colors of the rainbow in a way, right? So those are not the chakra systems, but they're vibrational spectrums. And our soul has all 8 of those vibrational spectrums. But out of this, there is one of those vibrational spectrums that we have about 50%. And everything else, so, you know, look at the rainbow, just pick a color, for instance, and you're that color at 50%. So all the other colors are like little strips of color. So that means energetically that if you work according to this vibrational spectrum, things are so much easier for you because you show up in a way that's true and authentic for you. And you stop trying to show up in what you have, like maybe 2% or 10%. Life is going to be a whole lot more difficult. You're going to have to expend a whole lot more effort trying to be 100% what your soul is at 10%, rather than showing up what you have at 50 or 60%. Does that make sense? So some of those vibrational spectrums, that's your soul gift. So the first vibrational spectrum, they're more earthy souls. Those are the souls that are going to take really good care of the community. They take really good care of present needs. Those are the people who might go and dig wells, who will take care of the elderly, who will have daycare systems and take care of the children, and maybe think about laws that are going to protect children, protect the integrity of the person. So that's a first energy center. There's also one that's about divine harmony, which is about having the systems in place, making things beautiful, knowing that art feeds the soul, knowing that having a system in place actually brings you freedom because you don't have to spend so much time trying to figure things out. You kind of just follow the system, and it frees you to just be you, right? There's another one that is divine love, which is, again, the realm of the healer, the realm of the coach, the realm of the person who's going to really see you for who you are and love you for who you are. Then there's the realm of the teacher, the person who really wants to, who, when you show up, when you're a teacher, you show up and you share information, but not just for information's sake, is because you want a transformation. It's you show up and you teach by example, you lead by example. There's also the realm of the divine truth, where you're going to stand up for the truth. You're going to stand up for social justice. You're going to be that warrior. And so that's going to be something very different for you, depending where you are in your background. So there's also the realm of divine power, where you're here to empower yourself and empower others, and just keep creating and manifesting, and knowing that manifestation is really, really quick. And then there's a realm of divine wisdom as well, which is channeling higher information. And this one is a little bit difficult in a way, because not everybody understands divine wisdom. Not everybody understands universal law, but if you're at that energy center of divine wisdom, you have a common sense that is not common for everyone else, because your common sense is based on universal law and not earthly law. No way. Does that make sense? So when you know your soul energy and you align yourself and your actions to work in that energy, that makes your life a whole lot easier. Does that make sense? So those are some of the elements that I'm looking at when I look at my clients' Akashic records. The other thing that you want to know when you want to kind of figure out that user's manual for your soul is looking at your birth chart in the zodiac. So that's super easy to do. You can go to astro.com, and then you can have a free birth chart, and then look at your zodiac, look at the wheels, and you're going to want to look at your first house. That tells you how you're meant to show up in the world. Your seventh house is going to be the house of your ideal clients and your relationships. So when you know how to interpret that wheel of the zodiac, then you know how your soul is meant to function in the world. So what that feels like when you have all these knowledges in place, when you get to know your soul at that level, then all your decisions become a whole lot easier, because you can make decisions about your marketing system, about your relationships, about your communications with your spouse, with your children, with your coworkers, with your clients. Everything is so much easier because it's from that place of authenticity. Does that make sense? So I'm looking at the time, and I've talked for about a half hour already. So what we covered today in the 5D is you need to know how that soul desire really feels in your body. So that's the first thing. Know how that feels, that feeling in your body when you really want something. Then we covered the Akashic records and and the fact that that's your soul's manual for manifestation. So knowing where your soul comes from, knowing your key energy center, and also knowing your zodiac wheel, that's going to give you clues as to how to be in the world. And when you align yourself to that, when you know that, it's easier then to make choices that are in alignment with your soul. So when to use that? So you use that information when you're feeling stuck, when you don't know what your next action is supposed to be, when you want to improve your communication with your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, when you're choosing a career path, I've done these readings with students going to university and they don't know where to go. And when I can narrow them down on, a few different fields, it feels so much better. And also, this is really good for new entrepreneurs, emerging entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs who are changing, transforming their businesses, because then you know what your soul wants, and it's easier to create your business based on what your soul wants, and it's the fastest path to success and abundance. Still need to do the work, but at least if you have that big vision, it makes things a whole lot easier, right? So your homework for today is to think about the different actions and the different choices that you're making, and validate that against how you're feeling. So is your action congruent to what your soul is feeling or not? In the Akashic Records, sorry, my cat is exploring the bedroom. So in the Akashic Records, there's positive action and negative action, but it's not like our way of thinking about things. It's not like all good and all evil. As we said, like the body is like a battery pack, and on a battery you have like the plus side and the minus side, right? Same thing on a magnet. So you either attract or you go further away. So when you make an action that is congruent to your soul, that is magnetism. It attracts. You're in alignment with your soul. When you make a decision, an action that is not congruent with your soul, it takes you away from your divinity, and it creates chaos and difficulty in manifestation. Does that make sense? So you want to be in magnetism. You want to be in attraction with your soul. So your action today, as you go through the day, is just to say, is this action, is this choice congruent with my soul, or is it bringing me further away from my soul? Why? Why not? So just become very much aware of that. And your big clue again is how you feel in your body. Does that make sense? So it's time, put your questions in the chat if you have questions. If you're here in the Zoom and you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, it is time for that now. I'll give you a few moments to get to the mic. So what you need to do is go to that place where you see the mic and you go on unmute and you can ask a question. I'm gonna have a sip. And if there are no questions, then you can always email them to me. Stay tuned for the replay. It's going to be emailed later tonight, maybe 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock-ish. And there will be another handout in there that's going to help you understand maybe a little bit more. What is a soul alignment? What are the vibrational spectrums? So I'm going to share a little bit more information in there so that you can start knowing where you are as a soul in the 5D. So I hope you enjoyed this challenge for day 2. Remember to do your homework. What's most important in all this challenge is to put things in practice. So is this action, is this choice in alignment? Is it congruent with my soul? Or is it bringing me further away from my soul? That's your key thing for today. All right, I'm wrapping you up with love. I thank you so much for being here with me today. And I'll see you tomorrow where we're going to talk about mindset. See you then. Bye.